Hey everybody, Chuck Barone. Thursday, July the 20th, 2023. Big day today, a lot of news to talk about. Very interesting day. Of course, before we get rolling, as always, I want to welcome everybody to the show. Thank you guys for your support. We appreciate you guys watching these videos and all you do for us every day. P.S. I want to apologize for missing the day yesterday. I had a little car trouble. And I had to tend to that, and by the time I got to the office, I felt like it was too late to get a video out. So here I am today. P.S. I will not be making a video tomorrow. I got a conference tomorrow and Saturday. So I'll be back after today. I'll be back again on Monday. All right, so let's look at these markets today. Stock market today mixed, with the Dow having a pretty fair day, up 163 points, sitting at 35,225. But the broader markets not having such a great day. The S&P down 30 today, down 30 points, 4,534 on the S&P. The NASDAQ plummets 294 points today, 14,263 on the NASDAQ. So mixed results. I think again, a little bit of uncertainty. It certainly looks like we're going to get that rate increase next week at the Open Market Committee. When they announce rates, when they announce their results next Wednesday, we'll get that quarter-point increase. Market pricing that in pretty much fully already. Now the debate is, will there be another one? So watching the economic numbers very, very closely, and I guess leaving it to their own interpretations as far as their reaction in these markets. The bond market today is selling off like crazy, rates spiking. You got the 10-year up 11 basis points, 3.85%. The 2-year up 9 basis points, 4.85%. So you got basically a 1-point inversion there. As I've told you guys many times, this bond market is usually pretty placid, kind of just very smooth, not a lot of up and down like we've been getting here. So markets, it's funny because you get these spikes. It seems like the spikes are always to the upside. And they kind of trickle down over the next couple of days, and then boom, spike right back up again. I don't know, man. I'm just looking forward to a time where everything's kind of normal again. I don't know if we'll ever have normal, at least my definition of it again, but somewhat normal, right? Dollar today, back up over 100 on the index, 100.83% or 83. So the dollar holding its own, not as strong as it once was, but still against the rest of the world's currencies doing very well. I think that talk of another rate hike in addition to the one coming in July, giving the dollar a little bit of strength. As a result of that strong dollar, metals today coming down a little bit. Gold down $7.50 an ounce, sitting at $1,969 even. Silver falling 39 cents, $24.72 on silver. Still good, strong prices, guys. Let's not be discouraged. Gold and silver, uptrend continues. Oil today, up small, 28 cents per barrel, sitting at $75.63 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate, just above that trough we've been talking about for so long. Let's not be surprised even a little bit when it goes right back down into that trough between 70 and 75. Bitcoin today, down small, down $308, sitting at $29,699, still a good strong number for Bitcoin too. We've had a lot of mixed news on cryptos, talking about Fidelity, Blackstone, or BlackRock, one of the stone rocks. Going to be talking about a Bitcoin exchange traded fund. If that happens, Bitcoin demand going to skyrocket. People will find it much easier to invest or speculate in Bitcoin. Would create a tremendous amount of demand. Personally, I think that they probably will come to pass. Don't know when exactly, but I'm sure they will. And when they do, get ready for a big jump in the price of Bitcoin, at least initially. All right, news we got to talk about today. We knew we were going to get some data today, and we did. Unemployment. This is the key one. This is the one the Federal Reserve is watching most closely. Unemployment comes down a little bit today. Claims coming in at 228,000. Versus the 242,000 they expected. It's another great number. Good number for the economy. They were saying that you would have to get claims consistently above 280,000 to have what they would consider a contracting job market. So the job market's still holding its own, still strong. This is the lowest level of unemployment claims, initial claims at least, in 2 weeks, or 2 months, I'm sorry. So, still strong. And now this strong job market, if we can maintain that, will really be beneficial to the economy when the rate hike cycle finishes. And it will finish sooner or later, guys, right? Actually, now I'm starting to read articles about deflation. They call it disinflation, which cracks me up. Let's call it deflation. That's proper. I really don't see that on the horizon. Maybe in certain things, used cars, which went up ridiculously, and certain things like that. But I would call that more correction than deflation, right? So I think that if the jobs can stay strong, we can get past the rate hike cycle, get inflation numbers back to their closer or under their target numbers, we're primed for a pretty strong recovery here. Election years are always kind of funky with the economy and stuff, but we'll see. I think we're looking like we might have a chance to have a pretty strong recovery, if you want to call it recovery, because we never really did have an official recession. So it'll be interesting. I think the first time you see a rate cut, once this hike cycle ends, it's off to the races, man. Stock market's going to roar. Real estate will come snapping back to life. People who've been holding out on selling their properties will start to consider it as mortgage rates come down, and it makes sense to sell your house and buy a different one, bigger or smaller, whatever. The way rates are structured right now, people have a 3% mortgage. They have smaller balances and equity built in these properties. Even if you downsized and reduced your loan amounts even significantly, when you're talking about a rate increase from 3% to 6 or 7%, well, the payments are dramatically different. So a lot of people, even downsizing, going to have much bigger payments. Guess what? No one's doing that, and that's leading to some real crazy stuff in this real estate market. So I think that I'll be happy when this cycle's finished. I got to say, though, it's much briefer than I thought it was going to be. I was looking at this history, looking at what 70s and 80s and how it proceeded. Now, granted, the Federal Reserve has learned quite a bit from that period and since that period. So they're not making some of the same mistakes. Staying persistent, continuing, even though the economy and political class start to clamor for some relief, the Fed's staying strong, driving this down. Now, I know there's a lot of skepticism on these numbers, and I'm skeptical too. But until we get some real numbers or something different to work with, well, these are the numbers we get. So it's going to be fascinating to see the Fed, how they do it next week, what they decide, the rationale for the decision. Was there any dissension? The minutes from the meeting are going to be fascinating. I'm sure Powell, our buddy St. Jerome, the patron saint of Jekyll Island, the miracle worker in this bond market. It's going to be interesting to see what his comments and what he feels like the actions of the Fed are going to be going forward. I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about employment and jobs and, the growth in wages, putting pressure on the Fed. Going to be interesting. All right, moving on. Housing starts, housing sales. Oh, God, housing sales basically collapsing due to lack of inventory. Prices continuing to rise. At the same time, sales are in the crapper. Crazy, guys. Home sales fall to a 14-year low. This is the lowest home sales numbers since 2009. Right after the big kablooey, where everybody was running from real estate, either by choice or not, with all the foreclosures we had nationwide in the big crisis, sales are down 19% from just a year ago. Crazy times. Lowest amount of homes sold since 2009. Big crash nationwide as far as sales go. I've been telling you this is happening here in Las Vegas. The rest of the country is not immune. When you have high prices mixed with high rates, that just doesn't work, and you're shutting first-time buyers out. The only people that can buy real estate are people who already own it and are selling a property or have equity somewhere. It's just a mess right now, and not going to get much better until rates or prices. But it looks like it's going to be rates coming down because prices now continuing to rise. Nationwide, the median sales price now $410,200. Oh crap! Getting close, getting very close now to the record high. The record high median price, $413,800, which we hit last June. So June of 22. So look at the difference, guys. You know, we had our decline, and boom, the housing recession. If you're going by price and not sales, well, the party's over for that recession. Now sales, you know, usually sales tanking leads to prices coming down. But because of the peculiar situation we're in, with rates, people having existing rates so low they're never going to give those rates up, it's created a peculiar market where you have sales down almost 20%, but prices continuing to rise. I told you it's a crazy world, guys, and it just keeps getting crazier. All right, let me wrap things up this week because I won't be here tomorrow with a story I was reading in the Wall Street Journal about a entrepreneur, a businessman in San Francisco. You can find this in today's Wall Street Journal. Story that really pissed me off. Okay, so check it out. The guy, the subject of the story, has owned an art gallery in San Francisco since 1984. So he's been there a long time, almost 40 years, right? So every day he has his same routine, cleaning up at the outside of his store, cleaning, making everything proper to attract customers to come into the gallery, to come into his store and do business. Now, we all know what's going on in San Francisco with the homeless and the crazies and the drug addicts. I guess this poor guy, listen to this story, guys. A homeless woman, he's outside cleaning the front of his store. A homeless woman comes up and takes a giant crap in front of him, the whole world, and his store. Okay? This guy's out there cleaning his store to make it nice and presentable for potential customers. This homeless lunatic is taking a crap in front of the store. So he asks her please to move so he could spray it down and clean it up the mess with his hose. She refuses and starts a profane tirade, screaming bloody murder at this guy. He's frustrated, sprays her with the hose. Not a gun, didn't beat her with a bat, sprayed her with a garden hose. Someone on their phone sees what's going on, films the owner with his phone, right? People see the video goes viral, homeowner spraying, or business owner spraying homeless person with hose. No context whatsoever of why he did it. The person, the business owner, is arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery, harassed, has a restraining order put against him against this crazy ass homeless woman who comes to take craps in front of his store and is driving away all businesses in that whole district, driving people away from these businesses. Now listen to this. The business owner was talking about how friggin' crazy this is. He said they had called the cops more than 50 times on this crazy ass woman. Okay? The cops come and they say because of the way the ordinance are written, they can't do anything about it. They can't remove her. They can't even reprimand her. They can't do anything. Even her taking giant craps on the sidewalk in front of stores. Okay? So, the woman is severely mentally ill. They already know this. She steals from the stores, steals from restaurants. She defecates in front of everybody, just like without even thinking about it. Masturbates in front of these businesses. If anybody says anything, anybody tries to do anything, talk to her, she screams and spits and goes crazy. This is what they're allowing to happen in our society in the name of fairness, in the name of compassion. Now, I feel as bad as anybody for homeless people and their plight, for the mentally ill, but we cannot allow these distressed people to destroy entire business communities. Anyway, I wanted to see if it got you guys as pissed off as I did, because this makes no sense to me. Okay? Anyway, that's it for the day. We'll be back on Monday. Next week, we got a big week with the Fed meeting, so we'll be here to bring you guys the news you need. I'm off to my conference. You guys have an awesome weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Spend time with your friends and family. Get away from the world and the media and the markets. Next week, we'll have plenty to talk about and hash over. In the meantime, great weekend. Take care. Till Monday. Thanks.